I wanted to take today to show people fall, and I had something on my mind and I wanted to say it. This is as far as we got with Holly Ann, so we're going to give you a health check update. We have everything where we want. I've got to make, I have it cut apart. It is cut and so forth. It's just time. And this brings me to my point about America, Americans, and forgive my sloppy wiring if you guys notice that. That's not permanent. There's a lot more that goes with that. And there's a grommet that's supposed to go in there that Dum Dum lost somewhere. Okay, I got interrupted, and this brings me to my point about America. Nancy Pelosi. This end house here, this end lot, was bought by an illegal alien some 12 years ago who pays the taxes and does nothing with it. And now an animal, which is probably a raccoon, which would be the only thing that would do something like that, has tore a hole in the roof that I have to pay for to fix. And I have other bills to pay. And it leaves me to my point about Americans and how un-American our government and Joe Biden has become. Hopefully I've corrected the contrast problem on this camera. If not, I've got to call Kodak because it's worked perfectly fine. But the contrast, the picture is coming through dark. Anything I show with any color to it, it sort of brightens up and it has some definition. But anyway, the camera's losing it. Everything Washington, D.C., like Nancy Pelosi, thank God somebody beat the poo out of her husband. Too bad it was not her. Okay? Trump, you ought to hear my message. People boo when they see Joe Biden or Joe Biden. They hide. He hides in his basement, rides his bicycle, does not address the American people, and he's wrecking our lives, our country. I had a veteran come here asking me for money, and this is the first year I have not paid my taxes on time. Every other year, and my bills, I usually pay stuff like clockwork. Can't no more. Just can't do it. So that leads me to tell you that these are the most foul pieces of shit and garbage that have ever graced our United States of America. And they work against the founders and the people that built this country and the principles that built this country. When you go to the voting booths today, people, I want you to use your conscience. Well, I wouldn't say today. It's November 8th. We're about 10 days away here. It's a glorious weekend. It's not that cold. I have this on because I get sweated up. I want something to absorb the sweat. I don't want to get sick. I'm not a macho man anymore. Well, can't say. I'm still a man. I don't want to be a female. Anyway, and I don't care if I smell like sweat, which I don't really. But anyway, I worked up a dither today, and the news has been working me up. And most of us wonder what's going to happen. Is this tragedy going to take place here at Beer 30? The last election cycle, they pulled COVID. It was another Chinese sneak attack. And we are wondering what other sneak attack is going to happen to us. We really are. Are we going to have another sneak attack before November 8th? Because Pennsylvania here matters. And I'm wondering if they're saving this. We're building up to a nuclear war with Russia. Holy dog shit. And they were the guys that were worried about Trump had his thumb on the nuke button. We got a clown that's not even in control. He's not even coherent. He gets lost on the White House lawn. They are ruining the principles on what this country is. They're thieves. Paul Pelosi should be in jail for that horrific collision. That he can't drink a beer at home. He's got to go out on the road with it and injure somebody. And have other drugs and intoxicants. These are the people that are flooding our country with fentanyl and dangerous drugs and dangerous criminals. I want everybody to go that shares this video. I've got a couple subscribers now on this new channel. I can't brag, it's a whole lot. But share this. When you people go to bed tonight, you are no longer safe. Think about it. You have a country that was sold out to China. They wanted the first World Trade Center up there, believe it or not, was bought and paid for by China, and they want the last one to be theirs. They want to put their capital society in that World Trade Center, running our financial and corporate structures, manufacturing, industry, food. This is what these sons of bitches in the White House are up to. That's why the other World Trade Center has not been bought and paid for, and they don't have a tenant because the tenant is mainly supposed to be Chinese corporations. Most of the other tenants backed out of the deal once they found out what was happening, and I'm sure the other ones are going to start vacating the other infrastructure that's been built there so far. I mean, I'm impressed with the buildings. Don't get me wrong; the architecture is pretty much beautiful, but nothing says it's American on it. Nothing. There's nothing uniquely American about any of it. We've got a problem, and we have to wonder every night what is going to go on with our politicians that supposedly call themselves leaders, that neither act like leaders, neither share the values that a leader should according to the American people. Nobody's making light that Joe Biden got booed out of the Eagles Stadium. Joe Biden, the next thing is going to fall on him, especially if he comes back up here to Scranton. He's been sneaking, unannounced. The Republicans, the people on the right side of the equation here, this guy's sneaking and twinkle-toeing around. He's your typical twinkle-toed cocksucker, okay? Because there would be people that would be waiting to meet his motorcade and let him know what he is. Because there's only a handful of people that show up for him. And he's got, the Democrats, they got everybody snowed that has a very low IQ or a very sheltered life about who and what they are. Who and what they are criminals. And you know what? I could give a shit less if YouTube deplatforms me or whatever they want to do to me. They can kiss my fat hillbilly ass. Every goddamn one of them. I'm an American. And I'll tell you what, I'm pissed off as I could ever piss. And I can assure you there's probably going to be more things that are going to happen to people like Pelosi. We don't call her pig vomit for nothing. Because she spews that communist pig vomit. Hey, you got to see what's in it, just like she wrecked healthcare. They've wrecked every goddamn American thing that we've ever built in this country. And they're continuing to take it down to when people, they're not, the sheriff ain't going to give a shit about the economy that you can't afford to pay your bills or your taxes. They ain't going to give a shit less. They ain't going to care whether you can't get your car fixed or get it inspected or registered. You still got to obey the master's laws. Well, you know what? It's coming down to the wire, people. And everybody thinks on November 8th that Joe Biden's just magically going to evaporate or go hide in a hole. No, they're going to start a whole shitstorm is what's going to happen. And we all have to worry about that. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry things are this way, but that's the way it is. And thanks for watching my videos. Holly Ann should be up and around. She did fire. So I have to complete that fuel system. And either that or I have to get other cables and some other sort of mount. That is a very arduous thing when it's transverse across the engine like that. There are mounting points, but I'm obviously going to have to build something to do what I want to do with her. So thanks for watching my videos, guys. I got to cut it off, but I'm glad that Paul Pelosi got his ass kicked. Moreover, I'd like to kick your ass, Joe Biden, and you fucking pooter. You guys are cowards and you're punks. You are nothing about nationalism. All you are is thieves in the night. And that is all you are. You're no more than a goddamn common horse thief like my great-granddaddies used to shoot them out there on the Amish farmland. I want to tell you something. You're nothing more than scumbags and thieves in Washington, D.C. Every goddamn one of you. Thanks.